Welcome back. I am joined today by Dr. Sharma, who is with Life Bariatric Associates, and he's brought along with him Jody Young, who specializes in helping people who have an addiction with food. Thank you both for being here today. We're going to be talking about one of the new procedures that you're doing here locally. In fact, it's only being done here out of the entire Southeast region. Is that right?
Yeah, this is a new balloon which came in, and it has two balloons. So we just started doing this procedure, and glad to help the community.
Okay, so what this is two balloons that are attached, and they actually you insert this into the person who's having problems with weight.
Yeah, the FDA just recently approved this device. It's called Reshape dual balloon. And essentially what we were having the problems, there are a lot of people who have weight problems. Their weight was not that significant that they qualify for surgery, or they were not that sick, having diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol. And we did not had any device before or any tool to give it to these patients so that who are struggling with their weight problems can correct their weight. So this is a new addition, and this is used for people whose BMI is between 30 and 40. So they are overweight, they have tried everything, the nutrition, the behavioral changes, and still struggling. So this is a non-surgical way in which these balloons are introduced into the stomach and will help them lose the weight.
Okay, and then Jody, I guess you counsel alongside this procedure, because this is the physical change that happens and is inserted, but there's also a mental component as well. Explain that to us.
Well, basically, with the program that we have, it's a 12-month program along with the balloon. And during that time, we really have to help the patients to change the reasons why they eat in the first place. So it's not just about helping them with a tool, but in conjunction with that, we really have to get to the root of the problem, some of the stress eating, some of the boredom eating, and really help them to make those changes. Most people know what they should eat. It's helping them to change why they eat.
You know, I find it fascinating, too, because a lot of times these are learned behaviors, and you get these when you're a child. Sometimes, I guess, when kids get hurt or fall down, oftentimes parents will try to make them feel better and give them a popsicle or something high-calorie to make them happy, and this can be something that they're finding out that happens in childhood that can lead to obesity in later life. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're learned coping strategies. We all have different emotions that we have to deal with and channel in one way or another. Unfortunately, a lot of the population that we treat and that we deal with have learned how to deal with their emotions and their stress and their boredom through what they consume, usually through sugar and starch and the foods that they eat.
Okay.
So what we have to do is effectively help them to change new coping strategies, more physical activity, artistic. I mean, there's all kinds of different options out there that we have to introduce to them, because they a lot of times just don't know it or physically can't do some of these things. So.
All right. And we have video of the actual procedure, and we're going to show that to you now. And maybe you can talk us through what we're seeing on television.
First of all, I want to clarify, this is not a surgery. It doesn't leave any scar or any incisions or anything.
Okay.
So basically, we do an endoscopy, put it in the stomach, and inflate the two balloons under direct vision for the scope, and it's removed. So the whole procedure takes about 6 to 8 minutes, and you're put to sleep, and you wake up, and you go home within 30 minutes. So it's very simple. It's not a permanent procedure. After 6 months, the device is removed. And when it's removed, then by the time you have adopted all the right changes in your behavior and eating pattern, and the study shows that 90% of the people continue to lose weight after the removal of the balloon. So this is a good procedure which is not permanent, not surgical. Temporarily, you are given a device in your stomach which makes you feel full, so you don't feel that hungry. Typically, patients lose about 30 to 40 pounds. And if the program is set right, then even after removal of the balloon, they continue to lose weight. So the important key is the 12 months program. That's what we offer to the patients, which include initial consultation and a monthly follow-up with introduction of this balloon, 6 months later, removal of the balloon, and hopefully they can continue to lose weight and achieve a target which is good for them.
I think this is wonderful. And what you're offering right now, too, are free evaluations. If someone is home watching and would like to take part, at least have you look at them to see if they qualify, what should they do?
Yes, they can call our office and we can do a quick evaluation. Not everyone is the candidate. They have to qualify. Their BMI should be 30 to 40. We are hoping at some point they will increase, but right now that's what it is. They should not have any prior surgery in their stomach. We'll make sure they can, they are healthy enough to undergo 6 to 10 minutes of sleep and then go over the procedure. And if they are committed, so we are ready to help them.
I think that's fantastic. And then I think it's extra great that you're helping work with these people so that this is a learned behavior that will last even after the device comes out.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you both for being here. And if anyone would like to come in for a free evaluation, the phone number is right there. Thank you both for coming in. And coming up, Penn State will play Georgia on Saturday, January the 2nd, 2016, in the Tax Slayer Bowl at Everbank Field. For more information, you can visit taxslayerbowl.com.